Hey guys, whoop whoop, that's the sound of the ambulance. Hey, I've got some really cool stuff to show you. Check this out. There is a purpose for this vehicle. This is going to be a real example of why you should buy a SsangYong. But before we get onto that, the important bit, and why you're here, the new Musso. I've got a black one here, I've got a grey one here. It's got the new bits on it, and it's why you're here. So stay tuned and we'll check them out. Right, so new Musso. Right off the bat, you can see a change. So instead of having that black grille, which was like a matte black grille, we've now got a smoked grey. Now, importantly, it's not the same as the 2021. It is actually a slightly different shade. And you can see this is a grey-bodied car, obviously a bit dirty. It's just come off the transporter. But you can see the difference there. It is a smoked grey material, and it is nicely textured as well. It's got like this little kind of crosshatch texture, hexagon texture, which is really cool. We don't have dark badges now. We do have just the chrome badges, but I'm not that upset that they aren't dark, because I still think the front end looks really mean. If I go and squeeze down here, get my face out shot, I will put some photos up within this video for you to drool over, and also I will stick some into Auto Trader as well, so anyone looking for one of these can have a good look. But anyway, whilst we're on the outside, so let's go and have a quick look at this black one here. So this black one, same wheels as before, okay. Side steps are a standard feature. They come on the car. We fit them here, fun dealer fact. But let's just imagine you've been a bit tired, it's a long day, and your arms are weary. Open the tailgate. Oh, we've got a damper. So, just in the middle here, if I can show you, get the camera in the right place, we've got this damper. And not only does it slow the tailgate as it falls, but it also helps it go right back up again. Really dead easy. So, you know, I can one finger that, I think. Little finger, imagine that. Right, the biggest changes are on the interior. So, let me spin the camera around and then we'll go and have a quick look in there too. Right, gang, so the main event. Let's hop on in. I'm going to close this door so we don't have to listen to Wayne outside. He's a terrible person. Anyway, there we go. So we've got this whacking great 12.5-inch screen right off the bat, and it looks fantastic. Look at it, it's huge. I've also noticed as well, we have worldwide TomTom coverage now. So, I mean, you can obviously plot your trip to the Federated States of Micronesia, of course, or the Cook Islands maybe. But one thing you will notice as you're using it, the touch sensitivity and just the lag time, I think, is most people say, but in actual fact, it's frame rate. That's from my day, we called it, is a lot better. So you're getting a much better sensitivity and control. That might be because they've changed the CPU, which they almost certainly have, or changed the software. But whatever the case, it's a lot smoother. The user experience is a lot nicer. So we've got that. We've also got, of course, that same UI that you probably are familiar with if you've seen the previous generation. So it's very similar, but just smoother, and the animations are nicer. So a really nice setup. Now, some of our customers were a bit concerned that this big screen was going to be in their eye line, but if I put my head up here to where my eyes are looking at the edge of the dash, you'll see that in actual fact, you can see the edge of the bonnet line here. I'm 6 foot tall, by the way. So if you put, you can see the bonnet line, and you'll see that this is nowhere near. You know, you've got a good 2 inches of eye line there. So you could be shorter, you could be, you know, 5.5 foot, and still this would not be in your eye line. So it does take up a large space of the dash, and it is big, but it is handy, and it's not going to be in your way for when you're driving. So moving on, top of the dash, now different material. So you've got this kind of faux stitching and faux leather, and it is a soft material. So that will help with deadening sound. So it might make it just a fraction quieter in here. You've also got this new one step below ventilation kind of combination strap line, which goes into the sides of the car, just gives it a much more complete look. And you've got this very attractive black piano plastic as well, which you do in most modern cars these days. And this nice little kind of textured shelf as well, which again, it gives a more premium feel. You've got the standard digital dash, which has been in Musso since last year, so nothing changed there. But if we go down one step further, we've got this touch sensitive panel. Now, these can be mixed with customers, I find. Some people absolutely hate them and people want manual controls, others really love them. But if you take this point of view, that if you're a Musso customer and you are dealing with dust and, you know, kind of rubble and dirt and all that kind of stuff, this is wipe clean. It's like an induction hob. You just wipe it down. You know, you don't get dust stuck in the controls, behind switches, all that kind of stuff, which is really useful. And you'll be pleased to know, dear folks, it is a very, very responsive one. So you're not having to kind of really hammer the buttons. It's really, really gentle. It's the right amount of pressure. So it's really responsive. You don't have to mess around. You do also have a digital readout up on the large screen as well as soon as you press the button. So really, really useful. I don't think anyone's going to have any problems with that whatsoever. Moving down another step, we've got the USB and the Android Auto connectivity. And they're now in USB-C. So that means no having to turn the connector up and down, trying to find the right way up, plug it straight in, and you get in a full 3 amps now. So you can fast charge your phone, you can fast charge your devices in the car, and you get a much better, more stable connection as well. So you're not going to have any issues there, which is brilliant. So I will put up some photos. The rest of the interior is pretty much unchanged. There really isn't anything to write home about there. So I'll let you guys enjoy looking at these photos, and then we'll hop over to that Rexton Ambulance and I'll show you what that's all about and why it's an interesting bit of kit. Now, one thing I just walked by and nearly missed just before we go into the ambulance. If you are a fan of Maxxis tyres, if you're a mountain biker like me, or if you know of Maxxis tyres, their off-road scene is insane. They know what they're doing. So it's lovely to see that Musso is now coming on Maxxis 771, which is a really, really quiet, high efficiency tyre with a decent, if I show you, a decent little bit of kind of all-road tread. So it will do a bit of off-road. And personally, I think that tyre is a much better one than the Pirelli Scorpion. So really interested to see how that holds up for fuel efficiency and off-road testing, but we will get back to you on that with a bit more later. So why is this important then? Well, this is important because this car behind me, it is a 6920, so it's a 2020, it's 3 years old, just around, okay, and it's done 142,000 miles. So whenever we have a high mileage model, we always like to look at the quality of the car. We look at the paintwork, we look at all sorts of things. So we're going to have a really brief look around this car, and I'm going to spin you around right now. Around you go. And I'm going to just take you around this vehicle. So this car is an NHS vehicle. It's an ambulance, obviously. And we will, if we're very, very lucky, turn on the blue lights. That's always fun. But you can just walk around it. You can see the quality of the paint and, you know, the bits that stand out. I know this vehicle has decals, but it is fantastic, and you only have to open the door. So even things like the door handle, you imagine how many times these door handles get open with 142,000 miles on it. Pull that open, there's no marks around it at all. And look at this interior. It is absolutely mint condition. So common point of entry, you normally get damage to the bolsters. You just don't have any damage there at all. Got no damage to the sills. Again, if I just hop in here, oh, it feels and looks brand new. I know this is difficult from where you guys are sitting, because obviously it's difficult to get that kind of vibe, but I can tell you, it is like brand new in here. All of the carpets, all of the headlining, everything in here has just been really, really well looked after. And again, if we can start it up, it's as quiet as a mouse. It's absolutely perfect. So you can see, look, 142,800 miles, but all of the switchgear, none of this is worn off. None of the paint's worn off. The steering wheel controls, the steering wheel itself, no wear at all around the steering wheel. All the unit here, the dash, everything is absolutely just, it's doing what it's supposed to. There's no wear on any of the side panels, side trim. It's testament to the quality of SsangYong. And look, I mean, this is super cool. Obviously, we will put on, don't tell anybody, we put the blue lights on. But there you go. If it's good enough for the emergency services, it is good enough for anybody else. It's a fantastic example of why SsangYong is a very, very durable. So there you go, gang. What a fantastic example of the durability of SsangYong. So 142,000 miles in 3 years, and it looks as good as it does there. It is absolutely brilliant. So stick with us, and we'll give you as much information about any of the new models and everything else interesting that comes up, and we'll speak to you soon. Look forward to supplying you a new car. My colleague Wayne is such a big fan. Look at him there, he's a massive fan of my work. He's always really giving me props, saying you're doing a really good job. All he's doing is just laughing at me the whole time.